has changed society forever. With its creation, limitless amounts of information and data are constantly available at the touch of a button. It has allowed for instantaneous communication from nearly any 2 points on the globe. This highly influential machine has rather humble roots. In this video, I will discuss a comprehensive history of a machine we could no longer live without, the personal computer. The personal computer started as nothing more than a hyped-up calculator. In 1936, German scientist Konrad Zuse invented the first mechanical computer. Zuse's Z1 was the first freely programmable computer. It performed simple tasks such as addition, multiplication, and the like. Then, in 1942, Professor John Asanoff and graduate student Clifford Berry constructed the world's first digital computer. The device, initially dubbed the Asanoff-Berry computer, made leaps forward in computing, implementing parallel processing, generative memory, and several new computing functions. Continuing the work done by Asanoff and Berry, Presper Eckert and John Mauchly created the ENIAC. The ENIAC is often credited as the first true computer. This machine was a behemoth in comparison to modern machines. It weighed nearly 30 tons and took up 680 square feet of room. Its only purpose? Simple calculations. The machine could be reprogrammed using rewiring or punch card programming, allowing for some adaptability. The capabilities of this machine included only simple arithmetic functions: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division.
This is one segment, one rack, if you will, of a system that had nearly 18,000 vacuum tubes, or valves as they're sometimes called. They operated in a building that was approximately 3,000 square feet. 1,500 square feet was the computer itself. The rest was the support, cooling, and power. When it was first gone into operation, it lasted approximately 45 seconds for a major power failure. It wasn't designed with optimum cooling. When it finally was shut down in 1951, it could go for approximately 2.5 days. What it represents is a significant milestone in human history. It's been estimated that the ENIAC, the Electronic Numerical Integrated Computer, as the first digital computer, processed more information in 90 hours of successful operation than all of the information that was available from the time humankind first stood up and began to write and speak until 1946, when this machine became operable. 10,000 or more years compressed into 90 hours.
A few years after the ENIAC went into operation, a new computer was created by Howard Aiken and Grace Hopper, the Mark series, constructed at Harvard University. The Mark I worked off the same principles as the ENIAC, using punch cards to program it. The Mark series gained some new abilities over the ENIAC, such as subroutines for logarithms and trigonometric functions. The Mark I was used primarily in gunnery and ballistic calculations for the U.S. Navy. In 1947, another major invention shook the computing world: the transistor. This small chip, developed by John Barden, William Shockley, and Walter Britton for the Bell Telephone Company, became the framework for the circuits and microprocessors that now run today's modern computers. Following the invention of the transistor, the inventors of the ENIAC, Eckert and Mauchly, began to work on a new project, the Universal Automatic Computer, or UNIVAC. The UNIVAC was the first business computer. It was used by the United States Census Bureau to compute data to properly calculate the United States population. Then, in 1952, the figurehead of the computing world would arise, IBM, or International Business Machines. In 1953, IBM created what they hoped to be the first commercially successful computer, the 701 EDPM. Despite their optimism, the 701 was never mass-produced. IBM continued their work revising the 701, making each revision faster and generally more usable. Their work with the 700 series will be used heavily in the first personal home computer, the IBM PC.
The very first computers seemed as big as houses. and so mysterious that for most of us, the computer was behind a closed door. But IBM was thinking how to make the computer more useful. And as one good idea led to another, it began getting smaller, faster, less expensive, and easier to use. Today, a new IBM computer has reached a personal scale. A person can afford it. A person can put it anywhere. Office, home, or school. And a person can learn to use it with ease. IBM made its personal computer to help a person be more productive, to help a person be more creative. And those are good reasons for a person to feel good. The IBM Personal Computer, coming to selected stores across the country.
A year later, John Backus would be the head of another major computing milestone. Backus created Fortran, also known as Formula Translation, which is recognized as the first high-level programming language. This programming language was adopted by IBM for use in nearly all of their computers, further helping the company establish the personal computer. In 1958, two electrical engineers would unknowingly create the next major innovation for the computing world, the integrated circuit. Jack Kilby and Robert Noyce created nearly identical plans for the first integrated circuit without ever meeting each other. Both received patents for their innovation. However, Robert Noyce would be the first to sell the new device. In 1961, the Fairchild Semiconductor Corporation began marketing the integrated circuit. By 1962, nearly every computer would be based heavily on this new technology. Roughly 10 years later, a new company, unheard of at the time, called Intel, created the microprocessor. The microprocessor would be a combination of all previous inventions, such as the transistor and the integrated circuit, all into one simple chip. The Intel 4004 chip is now considered the first CPU, or central processing unit. At this point, all of the groundwork was set. The computer was quickly expanding into the business world, but for it to move into the homes of Americans, it would need a new interface, one that was more user-friendly. Enter Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, founders of the Apple Computer Company. In 1983, Apple created the first graphical user interface, or GUI, which was dubbed Lisa. Apple began marketing the original Macintosh. It was a massive success with over 500,000 units sold 2 months after production began. All the while, another inventor, Bill Gates, worked on a completely different interface. Based on his operating system, MS-DOS, Gates developed a new interface, the Windows platform. In 1985, Microsoft released Windows 1.0. Despite its initial failure, Windows would soon become the dominating operating system, continuing through to today. The personal computer still continues to grow and expand to this day. Every year, newer, faster, and more powerful machines are released. Innovations are constantly present in this quickly growing industry. Today, over 55% of American households have a personal computer, and this figure is predicted to continue growing. The advent of this machine has prompted for development of technologies that will continue to benefit us as a whole.